around. They almost lost to Southern, but hung on late. Again, this team is a lot better. They're a senior-driven team. Nigel Williams-Goss is one of the best players in college basketball. I think he's underrated because he doesn't get a lot of love being on the West Coast and in Spokane. Not a big market, of course. But if you watch him play, he commands the floor, and you clearly know within the tip-off or the first couple minutes of the game, he's the best player on the floor. Villanova, they still have Josh Hart, who's still a great player. Again, this is somewhat of a younger team, a mix of younger and older players. And again, that championship experience, you can bring that back to the Final Four, no problem. Oregon is my third. Again, this is not a bias. Watching the game against Arizona in that game, they blew them out. And it was a combination, essentially, of the Golden State Warriors playbook. It's a combination of essentially shooting threes. They had a record 17 threes in that stadium on Saturday against the Wildcats. And then when they don't shoot the three, they're big men inside. They're young, but they're very powerful. So these guys are experienced on all ends. Dylan Brooks could have gone to the NBA this past season, but stuck around for his junior season. You have a lot of other players as well complimenting him. And this is a team. This isn't someone an Oregon team that's just led by Dylan Brooks. You watch this as a team, this is by far the best team in the Pac-12. And then finally, I'm going to give you an underdog that's going to make the Final Four, and that's UCLA. Yes, they're not necessarily an underdog because of the name, but they haven't been as hot lately. And Lonzo Ball, the player who's probably going to win the Wooden Award this season, this is a player who has clearly taken the college basketball area by storm based off his play, his intelligence with the basketball, and his quickness, versatility is going to make him the number one pick in the NBA draft. Do I necessarily believe in one and done players carrying teams to the Final Four? Not necessarily. But you watch this UCLA team, they're also very built similar to Oregon. You watched the game earlier between Oregon and UCLA this season where it came down to the buzzer and Oregon won it. This UCLA team has the depth, and if Lonzo Ball can be on his game in the tournament, this is a team I definitely see in the Final Four. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about LeBron James, Kevin Love, Carmelo Anthony. The love triangle that is. The report that came out earlier this week saying that there's still trade discussions somehow of Kevin Love for Carmelo. Is that going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll talk about more of that after the break. Here is Overflowing, Michael Woods on the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Cerrone and Tom Crane on Spreaker Radio.
say you wanna get away.
And welcome back to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Cerrone and Tom Crane, coming to you live from Portland, Oregon and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's 3:45 here on the West Coast, 6:45 back east. So before we get into the Carmelo Anthony topic, LeBron James, Kevin Love, of course, Tom, I got a question for you. I got this. Me and my roommates had this discussion, and it was a pretty heated discussion via text. It essentially took about an hour of my workday away. Can you have a fandom for more than one soccer team in Europe? Yes or no?
Does Europe include like Champions League, Premier League, La Liga?
Yep.
Or is it just in one certain?
So I have. So I'll go ahead and explain. I have a fandom for Real Madrid and Chelsea. My dad grew up as a Real Madrid fan, so I've obviously followed Madrid and still like them. But my first team in Europe that I started to follow really well was Chelsea. So, I like them as well. One of my roommates is a diehard Chelsea fan who thinks that's ridiculous that I even like anyone other than Chelsea. Again, probably a biased opinion, but again, that's a point of view of someone who's truly loyal to one team in Europe. And then we have another roommate, obviously, who's a Bayern Munich fan, who made different arguments for either side. So we're all split, essentially, on this decision.
So, being a person who loves soccer, but loves the sport itself and the teams around it, I'm going to have to say that I am a fan of Man City, but I am also a fan of Barcelona, the football club. So I am going to side with you on this. I know that there are some diehard fans when it comes to like baseball, football. It's this do or die with like the Cubs or with the Buffalo Bills. There's no other team. If you're from that state, that's your team.
Yeah. With
Europe, it's a little bit different just because of all the leagues, and I know that you can go up into the Champions League, then down and everything. But if you have players that you like on other teams, support them by liking their team. I know that sometimes you're going to have crappy seasons. I know I have. I've seen some crappy seasons, so I've fallen back on another team. Like, I married my wife, who is a Baltimore Orioles fan. The good thing about that is that she is in the AL, while my team is in the NL. So when my Cubbies are doing bad, sometimes I'll root for the Orioles, just because, they're my wife's team. I'm there to support them. I'm supporting her as well, being a good husband and all. But that's how I see it. Like, have a backup team, just in case, but still be that diehard fan.
See, there you go. See, that's the point I was trying to explain, but I get it. You have different levels of fandom, and I said essentially I am the I'm the liberal of soccer. I love a lot of teams, man. I can't just stick to one and that's it. It's not how I roll. But anyway, moving on to basketball here, a little bit more American. Obviously, we've talked about LeBron James, Kevin Love, Carmelo Anthony for the last couple of weeks because it's a trending topic. You have these reports coming out week in and week out of who's LeBron James trying to get to his team this week. Who's he trying to bring on to already the most expensive team in NBA history at this point? Because they're way over the salary cap. They're into that luxury tax that's going to be ridiculously expensive for the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, Frank Isola, a respected reporter from ESPN, brought up another recent report that they're still trying to see whether or not Kevin Love, Carmelo Anthony can happen. LeBron James had some words to say, including that the report was trash, that the reporter, Frank Isola, was trash. And Frank Isola rebutted a couple hours ago, saying, "Yeah, obviously I get it. I'm not surprised that LeBron James is saying that." Because obviously he's not going to go out and say, yes, we're going to get Carmelo Anthony. bye-bye Kevin Love. We're trying to get a better team, and Kevin Love's the factor that's not cutting it. And Tom, what are your thoughts on this whole saga again? I mean, again, this is a repeating topic, but it seems to get more interesting as the weeks go on.
I think that, in my opinion, that LeBron is being a baby at this point. He wants the best toys to himself so that he can get another ring in Cleveland. Yes, this is something that you have to do sometimes, trade up, get your players in sync so that you can win a championship together and go far into the future and continue winning. There is a point to wanting a player and needing a player. And LeBron James wants Carmelo Anthony. The team does not need Carmelo Anthony. When we're looking at Kevin Love, who is possibly going to be in this trade, Kevin Love is 28 years old, which is 4 years younger than Anthony is. Love is averaging 20.4 points and 11.4 rebounds per game this season for the conference-leading Cavaliers. On Monday's crazy, thrilling overtime victory against the Wizards, he had 39 points and 16 rebounds. These are good numbers for a trade so that the Knicks are possibly looking to grab him. But when we're looking at his age and Carmelo Anthony's age, the Cleveland Cavaliers need to stay with Kevin Love just because of how young he is and how much more they can get from him than Carmelo Anthony, which would just be a Band-Aid. So what they need to do is LeBron James needs to cool his jets, especially coming up close to the playoffs and the end of the season, and realize that he needs to work with his team that he has right now, which is an NBA Finals caliber team, and just become the leader that he needs to be. Not that he wants to be, that he needs to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to dispute that. Look, with what's already gone on between the reporters and LeBron James and, of course, Charles Barkley being part of the media and his criticism of LeBron James, it's fair, more than fair at this point. You've had a team that's gone to back-to-back finals the last couple of years, and that's a really good accomplishment. And overall, I think LeBron James has gone back to, 5 or 6 straight NBA finals, something that hasn't been done since the Boston Celtics of the 60s. Very, very impressive. But does that mean that it's automatically given to you year in and year out? Absolutely not. The Eastern Conference has gotten better and better this season. Again, overall, in terms of records as of right now, they're a better conference, slightly, than the West. The West has a lot of better teams up top, but the East has a little more depth. You look at the teams, even between the 76ers, who are in 15th place, I believe. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 14th place right now.